What is up, guys? It is Coasters and Things here today, and in this video, I'll be counting down, in my opinion, the top 10 coasters at Six Flags Fiesta Texas. So I recently had the chance to visit this park for the first time, and I got to ride all 10 of their coasters. This is how I rank them from least favorite to favorite. Starting off in the number 10 spot is Speedway Coaster, formerly Kiddie Coaster. This is the park's coaster for the little ones. But you don't need a kid to ride it, like all Six Flags parks, so I did get this credit. It goes around twice. It's the smallest model of Vekoma Junior Coaster, the 85-meter model. It's nothing special, meant for the kids. Number 9 might be an unpopular opinion. It's Batman the Ride. Now hear me out. I am not a fan at all of these S&S free spin coasters. I've ridden 3 of these things now, and I still have the same opinion even after I rode my first one 2 years ago. I do not like the way the seats flip. It feels very out of control and is overall not a comfortable experience. The restraints aren't that bad, it's just the way you flip is what makes it bad. These are always one and dones for me at Six Flags parks. Something kinda cool though, it was the first ever free spin. Number 8 is Boomerang Coast to Coaster. This is your typical Vekoma boomerang. Now this isn't the worst boomerang I've ridden, but not the best either. I still think Flying Cobras at Carowinds is the best. And just like Batman the Ride, these are one and dones for me at parks. I ride them just for the credit. I'm already kind of sick of them and I've only ridden 4 of them. But there's not much to say about this because we all know how boomerangs are. Even the name is not that original. Number 7 is Roadrunner Express. Now why did I put this high? Because this is my new favorite mine train. It has good speed to it, 2 lift hills, and it even has a little theming. It has some boxes of Acme and TNT around the helixes, and you go through a tunnel at the end. It also has soft padded restraints, which some mine trains lack. It makes for a more comfortable ride. I truly feel that these Aero mine trains will go on forever. They're classics that everyone loves. Number 6 is Pandemonium, the GERSTLAUER spinning coaster. This is the same Pandemonium as the ones at Six Flags New England, Over Texas, and St. Louis. I've ridden another one of these, the Six Flags New England one, and they're back to back in my rankings. Now on the upward helix in the mid-course brake run, this has some of the craziest spinning I've ever experienced on a spinning coaster. This coaster is in the very back of the park in the boardwalk section, secluded from the rest of the park, and you do actually walk on a boardwalk leading up to this coaster. Making the top 5 is Poltergeist, the Premier Rides LIM launch coaster. This coaster features a spaghetti bowl type layout, and like Pandemonium, this is a clone of the Flight of Fear coasters and Joker's Jinx. Unlike Pandemonium though, this I much preferred over Flight of Fear. I found it to be a lot smoother. Sure, it had a few rough bits here towards the end, but I overall enjoyed this a lot more than Flight of Fear. Now, unfortunately, I only got 1 ride on this coaster. I went back at night to ride it again, and it closed for winds and never reopened. So I did only get 1 ride, but it was a very good 1 ride. Number 4 is Goliath, the B&M invert. This is another Batman the Ride clone. This one is actually a mirror image of the standard Batman layout. This coaster was actually relocated from Six Flags New Orleans. After that park was devastated by Hurricane Katrina, this coaster was in good enough shape to relocate, and found its new home at Six Flags Fiesta Texas. And funny enough, I think this fits in great with Fiesta Texas's lineup. I just wish it had a different name though. Goliath is such an overused name. Even just the standard Batman the Ride name would have been fine. Now we're entering the top 3. These are the 3 that enthusiasts think of when they think of Six Flags Fiesta Texas. At number 3 is Superman KRYPTON Coaster, my new favorite B&M floorless coaster. I can see why enthusiasts say this is the best floorless coaster out there. It starts off going up the lift hill, which goes up to the top of the quarry wall. You then get a good view of some shopping centers before you turn and bank into a great drop. You then go through a vertical loop before popping back up on top of the wall, Then going through the other 5 inversions, which include a 0G roll, Cobra roll, which is 2 in 1, and 2 interlocking corkscrews. This coaster has a very strong layout. I love the Cobra roll. Very unpopular opinion, but it's awesome. This is actually in my top 10 B&Ms I've ever ridden. Now, I haven't ridden Bizarro or Kraken yet, although I should be riding Bizarro later this year, and those could rival this. One last thing, this coaster is very smooth, one of the smoothest B&Ms I've ever ridden. Now we're at the big 2 of the park, the 2 RMCs, arguably the 2 best coasters in the state of Texas, and I went back and forth between these 2 for several days on which one I like better. About half of you will agree with me on this, and about half of you will disagree with me on this. At number 2 is Wonder Woman Golden Lasso Coaster. This was my most anticipated coaster on my trip. This was my first RMC Raptor, and it was the first RMC Raptor. This was followed by Railblazer and soon-to-be Jersey Devil. Holy moly, the aggressiveness on this coaster is insanity. This is by far the most aggressive coaster in the park. I got 5 rides in on it. It has so much ejector airtime, and it flies through its layout. This thing hauls all the way. Now, why did I put it at number 2? Here's why. I was expecting this coaster to be glossy smooth, however it had a very slight roughness to it. It's still not bad at all, it's just something I noticed. And one more thing, these restraints I'm not the biggest fan of. If you've never ridden a Raptor, then the restraints are seatbelt-like, and they can really pressure your shoulders if you're a taller person like I am. I found I enjoyed this ride better when I actually held onto my restraint instead of putting my hands in the air, because you just get thrown around like popcorn being popped. This coaster is so insane, and it's absolutely worthy of the number 2 spot on this list. That leaves the number 1 spot. To no surprise, it's Iron Rattler, the RMC Hybrid. This is one of the most awesome roller coasters I've ever ridden. Wonder Woman had a very slight rattle. Iron Rattler, though, glossy smooth every time. It was my first time experiencing an RMC with GERSTLAUER trains, and I actually prefer these trains over the typical RMC trains, as crazy as it sounds. The seats are more comfortable, they're padded comfier, and the lap bar is not as heavy as it is on typical RMC trains. And with the way these restraints are designed, they don't come down super hard on you during the ride. Plus, it has a knob in the center to help with pulling the lap bar up. Talking about the layout, this is one of the best drops on an RMC, period. It's almost as good as Steel Vengeance's drop. It does have ejector airtime, and once it has warmed up, it hauls way more than it appears on POV videos. On my first 2 rides on this, the quarry wall section was a bit slow, but then my last 3 rides later on, the quarry wall was a lot faster. It goes through its 0G roll very well. The dive off the quarry wall is as good as everyone says it is, and the tunnel, while short, is a great near-miss element. It isn't as aggressive as Wonder Woman, but this coaster just has the full package in my eyes. It's in my top 10 for a good reason. Iron Rattler is my favorite coaster at Six Flags Fiesta Texas. What's your favorite coaster at this park? Have you been here, or are you wanting to go, or planning to go? Let me know all that down below. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And this is Coasters and Things signing out.